Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners-Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
And welcome to the 2023 Chevy Showdown.
We've put together 16 classic Chevys and they'll all be driven by our members.
And to all those builders out there who are looking to put an outlaw car together, you might want to check these races out and see how the different cars do.
That's right, Spanners. There's a real range of vehicles in this series, from very low to very high, and it'll be good for the drivers to know what sort of vehicle will do well on the track.
And if you're interested in entering the Outlaws, make sure you head over to redlinederby.com and check out the driver call information.
We've also added a huge list of tips and tricks, so make sure you read through all of the rules really carefully before you send the cars, because we'd hate you to not qualify.
But enough of that, let's look at who's racing today. First up, driving the classic 52 Chevy pickup, we've got the Grey Boys.
Next up, we've got the Monte Carlo driven by Serrano Buckminster.
Driving the Chevelle, we've got Fast Eddie.
I love the tribal flames on that thing. And then finally, driving the Bel Air, we've got Mr. Christensen.
Just like the Mustang tournament, we're running 4 cars at a time. And starting us off, we've got the Grey Boys and Fast Eddie in the front row, Serrano Buckminster and Mr. Christensen in the back row.
All of the drivers in the Chevy Showdown are from our members, and if you're interested in being a member, check out the link in the description.
Serrano Buckminster there with a nice overtake, tries to get around the truck. He can't quite do it. He is chasing him down hard though. Here he goes up the inside. A nice clean overtake, and Serrano Buckminster will take the first race.
Looks like only 3 drivers finished. What happened to Mr. Christensen?
Let's have a look at the replay.
The Grey Boys leading them into Bogan Alley, and then Mr. Christensen at the back there. Oh, he just slams into the sidewall and throws himself onto his roof. That was quite violent, but what a drive from Serrano Buckminster to get into second place. And then look at this sweet overtake here. Just drives right by the Grey Boys. A nice controlled power slide there as he goes through Big Kahuna Corner. And look at that nice little drift there from Fast Eddie as well.
Rex towing out there, cleaning up the track as he gets Mr. Christensen back on his wheels and ready for race number 2. We're looking at the scoreboard. Serrano Buckminster with 6, Grey Boys 4, Fast Eddie with 2, and Mr. Christensen got a lot of work to do with the 0 there.
Not an ideal start for him, but there are still lots of points up for grabs. Like drivers rotated around it, we got Fast Eddie and Mr. Christensen in the front row, Grey Boys and Serrano in the back row this time.
Fast Eddie gets into the side of Mr. Christensen and Christensen goes down again. Fast Eddie reversing out of the carnage to take the lead, and he's got the Grey Boys chasing him down hard. Fast Eddie gets a spin on, looks like he's going to hold on to it though, and he will take the win. Grey Boys reverse over the line for second place, and Serrano Buckminster there getting some air for third place.
Mr. Christensen just got absolutely bullied there. Feel a bit sorry for him, but the other 2 drivers did a nice job to get around him because he was completely blocking the track there.
So far, the Bel Air struggling to even make it through Bogan Alley, and he's spending more time on his roof, but check out this drift here from the Grey Boys in the pickup truck.
Drifting always looks sweet, but even sweeter when it's a pickup truck.
And check out the scores. It's a 3-way tie for first place so far with 8 points apiece to the only 3 drivers with points on the board. Mr. Christensen really better pull his finger out.
He really needs to stop just lying down on the job. He's here to race and he's got to put the effort in.
Well, he is in the front row this time with Serrano Buckminster, Fast Eddie and the Grey Boys in the back row. Fast Eddie lagging behind, and up goes Mr. Christensen with a beautiful overtake of Serrano Buckminster there. He kept his foot flat to the floor. Serrano trying to catch up. He's pulling up to his bumper in Big Kahuna Corner. Here he goes, but he can't quite get around, and all 4 drivers finally make it down.
This was just a superb bit of driving from Mr. Christensen. He just buried his foot and didn't lift off all the way through Bogan Alley. Serrano Buckminster obviously didn't like that, tried to chase him down but couldn't do it. But well done, Mr. Christensen. 6 points on the board, and you finally got a shot at moving on.
The top 2 drivers from each group will be moving into the next round, so making sure you get every point you can is going to be vital.
Serrano's already picked up a win from the back row. Now he's starting in the front inside. He's got a good shot here to take it out, but I reckon Mr. Christensen will be right on his bumper. Look at that.
The Grey Boys and Mr. Christensen door to door. Christensen comes out with the lead. Serrano tries to drift through Petrolhead Corner. He can't pull it off. Mr. Christensen right on his bumper. They're nose to nose in the final straight, and Serrano will hold on for the win. Grey Boys in third, and not so fast Eddie in fourth.
Mr. Christensen gave it a beans here, and what a beautiful overtake, just forcing his way past the Grey Boys. Grey Boys did a great job to stay clean, and then check out Serrano Buckminster here. He slid in sideways into Petrolhead Corner. Looked like he was going to line up a perfect drift, but unfortunately just clipped his rear end. That spun him around, but well done. Serrano Buckminster and Grey Boys, you're moving on to the next round.
Grey Boys there not taking any wins at all, but showing that consistency pays off.
We always say it's about getting numbers on the board, and you can only do that if you're finishing, so you've got to be consistent.
All right, it's time for us to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Wash your hair with it. Clean the car. Clean your teeth with it. Polish your shoe or spread it on some toast. No matter what you're doing, you need the ultimate man wash. Man wash for the modern man.
Brought to you by Mega Consumer Products. Keep buying more stuff.
It's time for group number 2. Let's have a look at who's driving.
First up for Group 2 is the 83 Silverado driven by Ben Kendrick.
Driving in the 67 Chevelle SS is Morel Dan.
Then driving the custom 62 C10 pickup is Nux.
And finally, driving the Nova wagon, we've got Rubber Toe.
And Rubber Toe's recent entry into the Mustang tournament was voted cuter than Timothy Chalamet, and he took out the Best in Show award.
So we've got Ben Kendrick and Rubber Toe in the front row, Morel Dan and Nux in the back row. Ben just slightly in the lead here. Rubber Toe tucks him behind.
Oh, I thought he was going to crash there.
He certainly took a strange angle into that corner. It looks like he's getting caught up in behind. But we've got Ben Kendrick out with a nice drive, a clean drift through Big Kahuna corner, and he will take the first. Whoa! And all three drivers cross the line at the same time there.
Kendrick with a very tasty drift there, but check this out. Morel Dan comes in, hangs his rear end wide out. That allows the other two drivers to get up close to him, and look at this. All three pushing hard to cross the line at the same time. Let's just go to the other angle. So we've got Rubber Toe in second, Morel Dan third, and finally Nux in fourth.
That was an insanely tight finish there between those three drivers.
Well, I think they finally took the advice to heart where every point counts, so they were pushing right to the end.
Ben Kendrick making the most of that front row start. Now in the front row, we've got Rubber Toe, Nux, then Kendrick, and Morel Dan in the back row.
I wonder if we'll have the same sort of tight finish again.
Well, it looks like Rubber Toe's not hanging around, but here comes Nux up the outside. They tangle up. Rubber Toe manages to get out in front. He is managing to reverse that Nova wagon down the track quite spectacularly. He is well ahead of everybody else, and he is going to take the win. Then we've got Morel Dan for second, Nux in third, and it looks like Ben Kendrick just taking his time to get to the finish line, but he still crosses.
Ben was very lucky to finish here. Going into Petrolhead Corner, he overcooked his drift completely, almost stalled out, but luckily managed to get going. And what a move there from Morel Dan to get around Nux. That was beautiful overtake.
A very nice drive there from Morel Dan to pick up second place, but Rubber Toe leading the pack now on 10 points. Ben Kendrick still holding on to second with 7, Morel Dan 6, and Nux coming in last place with 3 points, but Nux in the front row with Morel Dan this time, but Rubber Toe and Ben Kendrick in the back row.
Hopefully Nux can do something in that C10, because that really is one of my favourite shapes of trucks.
He is door to door with Morel Dan, but he pushes into the lead. What a beautiful drive there. He is stretching out a massive lead. I'm not sure if everybody else has stopped or if they're still going, but Nux takes the win easily there. Here we go, the other three drivers coming down. Rubber Toe in second place, Morel Dan in third, and Ben Kendrick picks up last place again.
What a flipping fantastic drive there from Nux, and even the battle for third and fourth there. Look at the way Rubber Toe muscled past the truck.
They all got through that part of Bogan Alley pretty clean, but it looks like Morel Dan got sideways and then gets pushed down the track by Rubber Toe and Ben Kendrick.
He almost stalled everybody out there, but Rubber Toe and Ben really trying to bustle past him, and then finally managed to straighten up Morel Dan, and then as they go into Big Kahuna Corner, Rubber Toe slips around, but unfortunately Ben couldn't quite get there.
Well, that's probably even up the points. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Wow, that is super tight. Rubber Toe stretch out a big lead here, but we've got 3 drivers within 1 point of each other and only 1 race to go.
Rubber Toe's definitely going through, but any one of the other 3 drivers could make it.
Morel Dan starting up front with Ben Kendrick. That's definitely where you want to be in this final lap. Rubber Toe will probably just want to hang back and stay out of any carnage that happens. And Morel Dan out like a shot. Nux doing everything he can to catch up. He slips right by Ben Kendrick. Nux chasing down Morel Dan. He closes up through Big Kahuna Corner, but Morel Dan finds an extra gear, takes the win. Nux second. Then we've got Ben Kendrick third, and Rubber Toe just cruising in for 4th place.
Rubber Toe playing it very smart there. He was guaranteed a spot, and he is joined by Morel Dan, and unfortunately neither of the pickup trucks go through, even though I was really rooting for Nux there.
The overall scoreboard there was pretty tight, only 5 points between all of the 4 drivers, but congratulations Morel Dan and Rubber Toe. We look forward to seeing you in the next round.
Let's just have a quick look at the other cars that'll be competing. So we've got another Chevelle, an El Camino, a Monte Carlo, a Camaro, a Chevy Custom, a Corvette, a Chevelle wagon, and finally an IROC Z Camaro.
No wonder the Bogans have been so excited this week.
Well, that and also the movie that's being filmed at the moment.
All right, we hope you enjoyed the racing. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We look forward to seeing you next time.